Welcome to Euthenia Travels, your gateway to fascinating stories and intriguing insights from around the world. Before we dive into today's compelling topic, I'd like to invite you to join our growing community of curious minds. If you enjoy exploring the hidden corners of global affairs and uncovering lesser-known facts about world leaders, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. By hitting that subscribe button and sharing our content, you're not just supporting us, you're joining a network of individuals passionate about understanding our complex world. Today, we're delving into a subject shrouded in mystery and speculation: the rules that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has reportedly placed on his wife, Ri Sol-ju. As we explore these alleged restrictions, we'll also gain insight into the secretive world of North Korea's ruling elite and the unique dynamics of power in this isolated nation. Now, let's begin our in-depth exploration of the rules Kim Jong-un is said to have imposed on his wife, Ri Sol-ju. Limited public appearances. One of the most noticeable rules that Kim Jong-un appears to have implemented regarding his wife is the strict control over her public appearances. Unlike the first ladies of many other nations, Ri Sol-ju's presence in the public eye is carefully managed and limited. This rule seems to stem from a combination of traditional Korean values, the unique political culture of North Korea, and Kim Jong-un's own preferences for how his family should be presented to the public. In North Korea, the leader's family members are typically kept out of the spotlight, with few exceptions. This tradition dates back to Kim Jong-un's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, and was continued by his father, Kim Jong-il. When Ri Sol-ju does make public appearances, they are usually carefully choreographed and have specific purposes. These might include accompanying Kim Jong-un on official state visits, attending important national events or celebrations, visiting specific sites or institutions that align with her approved public image. The frequency of these appearances has varied over time. When Ri Sol-ju was first introduced to the public in 2012, her appearances were relatively frequent, possibly as part of an effort to present a more relatable image of the young leader and his family. However, as time has passed, her public appearances have become more sporadic. This limited exposure serves several purposes: A. Maintaining an air of mystery around the leader's family. B. Controlling the narrative surrounding the First Lady. C. Preserving traditional Korean values of privacy for women in high-ranking families. D. Potentially protecting Ri Sol-ju and the couple's children from public scrutiny or potential threats. It's worth noting that the exact reasoning behind this rule is speculative, as the North Korean regime does not provide explanations for such decisions. However, based on observations of North Korean state media and the patterns of Ri Sol-ju's appearances, it's clear that her public presence is tightly controlled. This rule also extends to information about Ri Sol-ju. Unlike first ladies in many other countries, very little is known about her background, personal life, or activities when she's not in the public eye. This information control is likely another aspect of the rule limiting her public profile. The impact of this rule on Ri Sol-ju herself is difficult to ascertain. Coming from a background in the arts, she was reportedly a singer before marrying Kim Jong-un. She may have been accustomed to public attention. However, the role of First Lady in North Korea is significantly different from being a performer, and the restrictions on her public appearances may be seen as part of her duties in supporting her husband's leadership. For the North Korean public, this rule means that they rarely see or hear from their First Lady. This is in stark contrast to many other countries where the First Lady often takes on public roles, champions causes, or becomes a public figure in her own right. The limited exposure of Ri Sol-ju reinforces the focus on Kim Jong-un as the central figure in North Korean public life. Internationally, this rule contributes to the mysterious image of North Korea's ruling family. It fuels speculation and interest from foreign media and analysts, who often scrutinize Ri Sol-ju's rare appearances for clues about the internal dynamics of North Korea's leadership. As we continue to explore the other rules reportedly imposed on Ri Sol-ju, we'll see how this control over public appearances intersects with other aspects of her life as North Korea's First Lady. Strict dress code. The second rule that Kim Jong-un is said to have imposed on his wife relates to her appearance, specifically a strict dress code. This rule is particularly interesting because it represents a departure from traditional North Korean fashion norms while still maintaining tight control over Ri Sol-ju's public image. When Ri Sol-ju first appeared in public, her style caught the attention of many observers. Unlike the more conservative and uniform styles typically seen in North Korea, Ri Sol-ju's outfits were noticeably more modern and Western-influenced. This led to speculation that her fashion choices were carefully selected to present a more contemporary image of North Korea to the world. The dress code reportedly imposed by Kim Jong-un includes several key elements. A. Designer clothing. Ri Sol-ju is often seen wearing clothing that appears to be from high-end Western designers. This is a significant departure from the traditional Korean dresses, chima jeogori, or utilitarian outfits commonly worn by North Korean women. B. Tailored suits and dresses. Her outfits are typically well-fitted and stylish, often featuring tailored suits or elegant dresses. This contrasts with the looser, more conservative styles traditionally favored in North Korea. C. Accessories. Ri Sol-ju is frequently photographed wearing jewelry, particularly brooches, and carrying designer handbags. These accessories are luxury items that are out of reach for most North Koreans. D. Hair and makeup. Her hairstyle and makeup are always impeccable, reflecting a more glamorous image than is typical in North Korean society. E. Color palette. While her outfits vary, they often feature muted or pastel colors, presenting a softer image compared to the bold colors often seen in North Korean propaganda. This dress code serves several purposes. Projecting modernity. Ri Sol-ju's fashion choices present North Korea's ruling family as modern and sophisticated, potentially countering international perceptions of the country as backward or isolated. Soft power. Her stylish appearance may be intended to make North Korea's leadership seem more relatable or appealing to international audiences. Setting a new standard. Within North Korea, Ri Sol-ju's style may be setting a new standard for fashion, particularly among elite women in Pyongyang. Controlled image. While her style is more Western-influenced, it's still carefully managed to ensure it doesn't cross any lines that might be deemed inappropriate in North Korean society. The implementation of this dress code represents a delicate balance. On one hand, it allows for a more modern presentation of North Korea's First Lady. On the other hand, it must be careful not to alienate more conservative elements within the North Korean elite or to present too stark a contrast with the lives of ordinary North Koreans. It's important to note that while Ri Sol-ju's outfits may appear luxurious by North Korean standards, they are still relatively conservative by international standards. She is never seen in overtly revealing or flamboyant clothing, maintaining a level of modesty that aligns with North Korean values. The impact of this dress code extends beyond Ri Sol-ju herself. It has reportedly influenced fashion trends among elite women in Pyongyang, with some adopting similar styles. However, such fashions remain out of reach for the majority of North Korean women due to economic constraints and limited access to Western goods. Internationally, Ri Sol-ju's fashion choices are closely scrutinized by analysts and media. Her outfits are often seen as potential indicators of North Korea's economic situation, international relations, or internal power dynamics. For instance, the brands she wears might be interpreted as signals about North Korea's relationship with certain countries or its attitude towards Western influences. This dress code rule, while focused on appearance, intersects with broader themes of power, propaganda, and international relations in North Korea. As we continue to explore the other rules reportedly imposed on Ri Sol-ju, we'll see how her carefully managed image plays into the larger narrative of North Korea's ruling family. Kim Jong-un is believed to have imposed on his wife concerns her movement and travel, both within North Korea and internationally. This rule is closely tied to the broader restrictions on movement that exist for most North Koreans, but with some unique aspects given Ri Sol-ju's position as the leader's wife. Within North Korea, Ri Sol-ju's movements within the country are likely to be highly controlled and limited. This restriction serves several purposes. A. Security. As the wife of the supreme leader, Ri Sol-ju's safety is paramount. Limiting her movements makes it easier to ensure her protection. B. Information control. By restricting where she can go and who she can meet, the regime can control the information she receives and the impressions she forms of the country. C. Maintaining mystery. Limited movement helps maintain the aura of mystery and elevation surrounding the ruling family. D. Preventing uncontrolled interactions. This rule likely aims to prevent any unscripted interactions with ordinary North Koreans that could potentially undermine the carefully crafted image of the ruling family. When Ri Sol-ju does travel within North Korea, it's typically for specific, pre-planned events such as visits to factories, schools, or other institutions, often accompanying Kim Jong-un. Attendance at cultural events or performances. Participation in national celebrations or commemorations. These visits are carefully stage-managed, with locations prepared in advance and participants thoroughly briefed on how to behave in the presence of the leader's wife. International travel. Ri Sol-ju's international travel is even more restricted and rare. When she does travel abroad, it's almost always in the company of Kim Jong-un and for specific diplomatic purposes. Some notable instances of her international travel include visits to China, accompanying Kim Jong-un in meetings with Chinese leadership. A trip to South Korea in 2018 for an inter-Korean summit. These international trips are significant events, carefully planned and executed with extensive security measures. They often attract considerable attention from international media and analysts, who scrutinize every detail for potential insights into North Korea's foreign relations and the dynamics of its ruling family. The restrictions on Ri Sol-ju's travel likely extend to her ability to maintain connections outside of North Korea. Unlike first ladies in many other countries, she presumably has limited or no ability to communicate freely with individuals abroad or to develop independent international relationships. Impact and implications. For Ri Sol-ju personally, these restrictions on movement and travel potentially limit her experiences and perspectives. Coming from a background in the arts, she may have once had aspirations of performing or traveling more widely. However, her role as the leader's wife comes with significant constraints on personal freedom. For the North Korean regime, controlling Ri Sol-ju's movements is part of a larger strategy of information control and image management. By limiting her exposure to both domestic and international influences, the regime can ensure that she presents a consistent image that aligns with official narratives. From an international perspective, the restrictions on Ri Sol-ju's travel contribute to the perception of North Korea as a closed and tightly controlled society. Her rare appearances abroad are seen as significant events, often interpreted as signals of diplomatic openings or shifts in North Korea's foreign policy. It's worth noting that these restrictions on movement are not unique to Ri Sol-ju. Most North Koreans face severe limitations on their ability to travel, both within the country and internationally. However, the specific nature of the restrictions placed on the leader's wife, allowing for occasional high-profile appearances while generally limiting her movements, reflects her unique position in North Korean society. As we continue to explore the other rules reportedly imposed on Ri Sol-ju, we'll see how these restrictions on movement intersect with other aspects of her closely managed life as North Korea's First Lady. Controlled public image and media representation. The fourth rule that Kim Jong-un is believed to have imposed on his wife relates to the careful control of her public image and media representation. This rule is crucial in shaping how Ri Sol-ju is perceived both within North Korea and internationally. In North Korea, all media is state-controlled, which allows for complete management of how Ri Sol-ju is presented to the public. This control extends to every aspect of her media portrayal. Photographs. Official photographs of Ri Sol-ju are carefully selected and often edited before release. These images typically show her in a supportive role, often standing slightly behind Kim Jong-un or interacting with citizens in a warm but dignified manner. Video footage. When video of Ri Sol-ju is released, it's invariably carefully staged. She's often shown smiling, applauding her husband's actions, or engaging in approved activities such as visiting schools or factories. Written descriptions. Any written descriptions of Ri Sol-ju in North Korean media are tightly controlled, using specific honorific titles and presenting her in a way that reinforces her role as a supportive wife to the supreme leader. Absence from media. Perhaps more telling than her appearances is her absence from much of North Korean media. Unlike first ladies in many other countries, Ri Sol-ju is not a constant presence in news reports or public discourse. The key elements of Ri Sol-ju's controlled public image include supportive wife. She's invariably presented as a loving and supportive wife to Kim Jong-un, reinforcing his image as a family man and relatable leader. Motherly figure. While information about their children is closely guarded, Ri Sol-ju is sometimes portrayed in a motherly role, particularly when interacting with children during public events. Modern yet traditional. Her appearance and behavior are carefully balanced to present an image that is both modern, in terms of fashion and demeanor, and respectful of Korean traditions. Dignified and reserved. Unlike first ladies in some other countries, Ri Sol-ju is never shown being overly emotional or expressing strong personal opinions. Culturally refined. Given her background in the arts, she's sometimes shown attending cultural performances, reinforcing the regime's emphasis on Korean culture. This controlled image serves several purposes. Humanizing the regime. Ri Sol-ju's presence adds a touch of normalcy and relatability to the often austere image of North Korea's leadership. Projecting stability. The image of a stable family life for the leader is meant to reflect the stability of the regime as a whole. International impression. For foreign audiences, Ri Sol-ju's controlled public image is part of North Korea's efforts to present a more modern and approachable face to the world. The rule of controlled media representation extends beyond North Korea's borders. The regime attempts to manage Ri Sol-ju's image internationally by limiting her exposure to foreign media, carefully staging any interactions with foreign leaders or dignitaries, releasing select images and information to international press. However, this control is not absolute when it comes to international media. Foreign journalists and analysts often speculate about Ri Sol-ju, her background, and her role in North Korean politics. These speculations are largely based on limited information and occasional glimpses of her during public events. The impact of this rule is significant. For North Korean citizens, the carefully crafted image of Ri Sol-ju reinforces the regime's narratives about the ruling family and the state of the nation. For Ri Sol-ju herself, this level of image control likely places significant pressure on her to always present herself in line with the regime's expectations. For international observers, the tightly managed representation of Ri Sol-ju fuels curiosity and speculation, making her rare appearances subjects of intense scrutiny. It's worth noting that this level of media control is not unique to Ri Sol-ju in North Korea. All aspects of public life and media representation are tightly managed by the regime. However, as the wife of the supreme leader, the specific image crafted for Ri Sol-ju is particularly significant in shaping perceptions of North Korea's ruling family. As we continue our exploration of the rules imposed on Ri Sol-ju, we'll see how this control over her public image intersects with other aspects of her role as North Korea's First Lady. Prohibition on independent political activities. The fifth rule that Kim Jong-un is believed to have imposed on his wife is a strict prohibition on independent political activities. This rule is fundamental to understanding Ri Sol-ju's role within the North Korean political system and highlights the significant differences between her position and that of first ladies in many other countries. In North Korea's political system, all power is centralized in the supreme leader. The role of the leader's wife, therefore, is not to engage in independent political activities, but to support and enhance the image of her husband. This rule manifests in several ways. No official political position. Unlike first ladies in some countries who may hold official government roles or lead initiatives, Ri Sol-ju does not have any formal political position within the North Korean government. Absence from policy discussions. There are no indications that Ri Sol-ju participates in policy-making or attends high-level political meetings, except perhaps as a silent companion to Kim Jong-un. In conclusion, the story of Ri Sol-ju and the rules that govern her life offer a fascinating glimpse into the inner workings of one of the world's most secretive and controversial regimes. Her experiences highlight the unique challenges faced by those at the very top of North Korean society and the lengths to which the regime goes to maintain its grip on power and its carefully crafted public image. As we end this in-depth exploration, I want to thank you for joining us on this journey through the complex and often mysterious world of North Korea's ruling family. If you've found this analysis interesting and informative, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Euthenia Travels. Your support helps us continue to bring you insightful content about intriguing topics from around the world.